All right, very cool. I think we are live. We're definitely live on TikTok, so that's great. So TikTok's up. Uh, Facebook? I don't know. I don't. Facebook typically is like one of the last things to come on. So let me see if it does come on. Another whole world blowing up your phone. By the way, if you have not listened to J. Cole's new album, you should definitely check that out. It's a banger. It's a banger. That's why he's the GOAT. All right, cool. So we live on Substack, which is definitely one of the more important ones. So that's always nice. I think I'm live on TikTok. Matter of fact, I'm not sure. Here, let me move this. I don't like that there. All right, this is mayhem. This might freak some people out because I got a lot on the background here. Smoke like that. One of the batches they had. All right, so I've got the chat open for that. Live chat has, what is that, doc? Oh, I love putting the chat. I didn't know I could do that. I like that. I like that a lot. I know the whole world blowing up your phone. All right, cool. Yep. All right, cool. I'm glad we got that set up. So I am live on Substack. I am live on Twitch. I am live on, I need to check YouTube. What's up, Ira? What is up? I am, you're joining me as I'm figuring some stuff out. What's up, Vegas? Vegas Twin One. You know, I am actually going to change this up a bit. I'm going to delete this from the top. And I'm going to add a text. That's what I'm going to do. Nope, just text. I typically like going. I lived 9 years on a cacao farm. Now making chocolate in Esmeraldas, Ecuador. Now making chocolate in Esmeraldas, Ecuador. I like that. Lived 9 years on a cacao farm. Now making chocolate in Esmeraldas, Ecuador. Yeah, I think that's really cool. Lived 9 years on a cacao farm in Esmeraldas, Ecuador. What's up, chat? What's up, fam? What's up, David? What's up, Christine? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Look at me actually going live the way I should. Looks a little different now, don't it? Looks a little different now. I've kind of transitioned. I've put. I don't want to go with like a dream board because it's not. I put things that Vessi likes and cares about on like a wallpaper. If you're curious to see the rest of it, if you're joining me on TikTok and you're curious to see the full picture of it, you can basically go to almost any other social media, and I am live on there as well, so you can kind of see it. But I'll start with the ones that you can see on TikTok. Check that out. So this is cacao. This is a cardinal. It's our state bird in North Carolina. You see a little bit of like the Mexico Ángel de Independencia, I think is what it is. I'm not really sure. Obviously, the Cacao and Comments, which is like the main brand of, well, really the only product, honestly, that I have right now, which is just monthly newsletters, which is cool. And then you have some art up here as well from a mixed Ecuadorian artist. He is half indigenous, like mom only speaks Quechua and he speaks Quechua, so like the native person, and mestizo, so he's mixed there, and he makes art about it as well. And then we have like obviously good old Bernie Sanders. Here's a little book. and the Carolina Hurricanes down here too. So obviously got some of the racing things over there as well. So you kind of get an idea. You kind of get an idea of some of the things. Obviously, we got cacao up here. We have the cardinal over here. And then over here, you also have like my name, the Del Mundo. By the way, this hat is specifically known as a Panama hat, which is unfortunately a poor marketing because it's actually from Ecuador. Um, so eventually, as I develop the brand, I will have a brand of Panama hats because that's what Ecuador is known for. These Panama hats up here. Cheers to the weekend. Yo, the weekend has started for me at least. I don't know where you guys are. I'm sorry if you're still working, if you're joining me from work. Thanks for joining me from work if that's where you're joining me from. But Christine, how's your running been? I know you got your race coming up. Hopefully it's going great. Panama is the name of a tree. Ooh, I'm gonna check that out right now, David. I'm curious if they're called Panama hats because that's the name of the tree. That would be interesting. Pretty good. Started my training block next week. Okay, fantastic. Dang, congested. That's horrible. So I started my training block last week, and I felt good. I if it's not on Strava, it didn't happen, you know. So let me pull up my Strava real quick. Let's see how it went. For those of you who don't know Strava, dude, chicken and waffles is fantastic. Dame's chicken and waffles even better. I do like some chicken and waffles. It is something that everybody should try at some point. Now, I will be real with you. I don't go craving chicken and waffles. It just happens. I like craving chicken and waffles. I'm not gonna lie to you, Danny. That's kind of crazy. You should come on, man. Craving chicken and waffles. It is almost 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know where you are. Craving chicken and waffles. That is a breakfast food only. Not crazy. Uh, hey, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe I just don't live enough. Texas. Oh, fam. See, I'm a Carolina guy. We're on different pace. We're on different. Plus, Texas isn't even the South. Like, let's just be real. Like Texas, like you're just all on your own. Is Texas the South? What do we think, people? Is Texas the South? Texas is Tejas. Texas is Mexico. If we're gonna keep it a $1.99. Now, how does it go? If we're gonna keep it a $1.98, because I don't want your 2 cents. Tejas is Mexico. Pretty good week. Pretty good week. Thanks for the likes. Very much appreciated. I think it helps with the algorithm, so that's always really cool. All right, let's see here. Panama hats are named after the Istanbul of Panama because that was the primary international trade hub where the Ecuadorians made hats where they sold and shipped worldwide in the 19th and 20th century. Oh, they're called Panama hats because that was the canal, or that was the isthmus. The isthmus, I don't know what that is. The isthmus of Panama. Anyways, the port was called Panama, so that's why they called them Panama hats, but it's an Ecuadorian made thing. All I know about Texas is Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. That's crazy, Christine. That's crazy. You know, there's much more important things about Texas than just pretty girls that are cheerleaders. Also, hopefully they didn't come out as rude to the cheerleaders. I'm sure that it's very difficult to be a cheerleader. They even make shows about it, but it's the shape of Panama. Nice. Looks like Panama means. Yes. So that is eventually going to be one of the products, or I'll collab with a brand, honestly. See, that's the other thing. My eyes entrepreneur, I guess, like business owner kind of person. Like my eyes sometimes get way too big for my stomach. So I go off like tangents on like different ideas and different things to do. Um, man, I need to cut this out better. I don't know how I like how it's a little shady. I should do better. Get a green screen, easy, right? I think that's what I need to do. Get a green screen to really clean it out. There, like, what was I saying? My eyes are too big. I need to go and now learn. I don't think that's a difficult learn, especially if I'm trying to have like backgrounds and things like that, which I am. It's just a lot easier to. It's just a lot more eye grabby, I think. Anyways, that might just be me though. So you are starting your running next week, Christine. That is awesome. What is the typical routine, or what's the typical like week schedule and weekend run schedule that you're thinking about? Let's see how this looks. Oh no, I broke it. No, I didn't break it. No, it's still here. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're cooking. Very nice. Very nice. 15 miles a week. Oh, you're about to get in it. You are locked in. You're about to get in it. That's awesome. I'm excited for you. Oh, that's what I would. I didn't check. Okay, so this week I'm at 7.6 miles. So I need like 4 miles this weekend. But here's the difference. I'm also starting to play tennis again. And I definitely don't want to re-hurt my like ankle because that's been kind of weak recently, but I am trying to strengthen it up for tennis. But let's see here. Last week. So last week I did 12. Week before that was 9. So I've been at it for 3 weeks now, excuse me. 3 runs each week, 2 during the week, and 1 long one on the weekend is what it looks like. Tuesday speed workout, Thursday easy run, run club, Friday swim and short run, Sunday long run. Nice. Okay, yeah, I could tell. I was gonna say like that definitely looks more of like a speed, shorter distance speed workout plan. Got to skip some. You got to listen to your body. It's very easy to kind of get lost in the progress of it all, but like it's really important to remember like we got time. We can get there. What's up, Lee? Welcome, Lee. So that's always really cool. Dance classes. That's pretty dope. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, cool. So picture in picture mode closed. Okay, that makes sense. I see why I did that. I okay, cool. So with chocolate, back to the regular scheduled program with the cacao and chocolate. So we're going to remodel one of the garages storage spaces that we have down in Ecuador into the kitchen factory. That's going to take time and a lot of money. I am already financially invested into this project, so I have spent and I will continue to spend more money on it. The next big or the first domino of actual breaking ground is going to involve getting an electrical panel or an electrical transformer for the chocolate factory. This electrical transformer is going to give us enough juice to actually have equipment in there to be able to produce the chocolate, the stone grinders, the toasters as well. All we're going to need electricity. So that's going to cost maybe 10 grand, probably more to install because we also have to go through the city for municipalities. And when we do this, we'll be able to install a lot more of like electrical outlets and really build it out the way we want it to be. Different windows, all FDA all FDA clean, but also to kitchen standards of Ecuador, they need to pass that as well. So we're playing with an empty slate basically. So I'm going down to Ecuador in April, and when I'm down in April, when I go down to the cacao farm in April, I will be able to have a better idea of like the size, squared footage, as well as how much it's going to cost to get that space production ready, like the minimum viable option for production ready at that setup. And then I'm going to create a thermometer of like how much it's all going to cost. That way I have a clear path of like, okay, cool. I need to raise this much in funding to launch the chocolate factory. And when I have that number, that's when I can kind of go with a Kickstarter for the chocolate factory so that people can, I don't think legally I can say pre-order, but that way people can buy a postcard, right? So people can buy a postcard, and the postcard would cost $15, $20, because I would write them a thank you postcard and I would send it to them as a thank you for the investment in the chocolate factory. And I would ask them to keep that postcard because it might be in the future at some point a redeemable postcard for some chocolate of some kind. So then there is some form of an actual value amount assigned to this, dare I say, collectible postcard item. So now I've got a bunch of, so I would handwrite thank you cards, like just a couple sentences, nothing crazy, nothing crazy, just a couple. I would handwrite all of them, $20, because they're giving me $20, and I would put them in a post. I would send it to them and hope it gets to them, right? And then through doing this, it'll help me fundraise for the chocolate factory. And then there's other tiers, of course, as well. Like if somebody wants a hat or something, they can donate more or fundraise, add money to the fundraiser and do things like that. I have postcards hanging up on my desk at work. Everybody loves a good postcard. Plus, it's in line with my traveling. It's in line with being a virtual neighbor. Like, I don't want to go as far as to say a pen pal, but I've received postcards before and they're always like really cool. Even when I'm expecting the postcard, it's really cool. So that's one of the products that I'm thinking about. Because I would also want it to be a redeemable product. Like that's the other thing about it. Like my business marketing mind is thinking that if I send them this postcard and I don't tell them that they can get free chocolate with it. I don't tell them anything about it. I just send it to them with a comment of, you might want to keep this postcard for future news, whatever, right? Collectible postcard is how I would, they can throw it away if they want. I'm just going to call it a collectible postcard. And then something like years later, when we're actually like making a little bit of a profit and kind of like we're in a sustainable business, then I can do something silly like, if you still have your postcard, send us a picture of it with the postcard, and we'll send you like a chocolate. Oh, here's the other problem. I'm not going to send them a chocolate bar, just one chocolate bar. I won't be selling individual chocolate bars. But so it might be like, hey, if you have a postcard, use that in your next order and you'll get free shipping. Or you'll get an extra chocolate bar as a thank you. Or, I like that actually better. I like that much better. Use this code that I have secretly hidden as the first letter of every sentence of the postcard, but then everybody gets the same thank you postcard. Maybe everybody gets the same thank you postcard. I write the same thing on all of them, because the first letter of every single sentence, or the first letter of every single word, will be the coupon for an exclusive chocolate bar. I don't know. I'm having fun with it, but my marketing brain kind of goes wild sometimes when I think about it. But I know that a collectible product is something that is going to be really important. I could put a number on it. I could do that, and everybody gets the same like little number on the bottom. I like that as well. What is up, Marcella? I like the number better than the first letter of every sentence, just because that's a little extra. But if there's a number on the bottom right, like a 5-digit code or a 5-series number or whatever, put that in your coupon, or like if you have a coupon number, add that number in, and boom, you get a discount on your chocolate. Do you really have a math degree? Oh, you're smart. That's awesome. Hold on. This might be kind of cool. So, applied mathematics. Very cool. I went to school for education, 3rd grade elementary school. Early childhood education was what I wanted to do. And then laws got passed in North Carolina that were anti-teacher laws. And I was just like a junior in college. And I was like, this is a waste of my time. I was making money at like a small sales job. And I was like, I'm not going to be a teacher. So I'm just going to drop out and see what happens. And I never needed that degree. So it works out. I love teachers. My mother was a teacher here in the United States. Actually, she still is in the education system. My mother is still an educator. So my mom isn't in the classroom as a teacher anymore. She works like an admin, but she was in classrooms. I feel like a lot of people who have their head on straight have a family member, whether it's their direct parents or their grandparents, who were educators. There's something about having a teacher as a mentor, or a teacher as a parent, helps out a lot, in my opinion. In my opinion. All right, cool. So I have about 5 minutes exactly left on this live. So that's what I'm excited about. What's up, Viviana? So with the chocolate factory, right? I need to figure out the cost of converting the storage unit that we have into a kitchen, a working factory, which isn't difficult. I need like epoxy floors, walls that are washable, and like there has to be smooth surfaces, stainless steel, stuff like that. So I'll find out like the price of how much that would cost, just the infrastructural part of the start of the launch. So it would be the cost of converting the storage unit into a chocolate factory. And it would also be the cost of the infrastructure that's being developed for that, which is the electrical transformer that we're doing. So those are some of those big priorities that I am excited about, because then I can actually have a lot more of a serious conversation on like a Kickstarter pre-launch type of process of, hey, I need this much for the electrical transformer. I will send you a postcard as a thank you. Please keep your postcard. And I'm posting videos about the entire process. Like, I am posting videos about, hey, here's the transformer we bought. Here's the account that all of the money is going into. Here's the funds that were taken out for this purpose. Here's why it's more expensive now than originally expected. All of it. So I will have it publicly shared, probably on my YouTube, probably on all the social media sites. So by me having an exact number of how much things are going to cost, I'm going to be able to have a thermometer and do a fundraiser. I've done fundraisers before for nonprofits and in charities in the past where like I led them. So like I'm pretty confident in being able to do this as well. Um, I just wish I had something that was a little. I mean, no, I'll be honest with you. I think the postcard is cool. I think a a postcard a postcard would be cool. The other question is, no, a postcard that's designed with Esmeralda stuff or designed with like cacao stuff, like a cacao postcard. Literally, this could be the postcard. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that could be the postcard. Just something that says cacao. I like that a lot too. Here's a couple examples actually. So when I was in Peru, I have this idea because I like postcards. Here are a couple that are like an artist that made postcards out of it. On the back of it, something very simple. She's got her social media handles on here as well. I'll give her a little shout out as inspiration. Oh, hold on a minute. There we go. So what I want to do is I want to do like postcards as a thank you postcard to people. What is up, our journey to Ruby? Welcome. I am talking about the chocolate factory. And when I am ready to do a full launch on the chocolate factory, I will probably need to do some sort of products and merchandise and things like that, things outside of chocolate, because chocolate has a lot of regulations that I need to make sure are done correctly. Like we're building something where people will be eating food from a foreign nation. So like there's a lot of guidelines to it. So I was thinking like postcards and stuff like that, right? Um, where I would be writing a quick little like 2 sentence thank you on the back of a postcard, and I would send them a postcard. And then I was thinking about putting like a little QR code, or not a QR code, but a series, like a little code on the bottom. And I would ask people, I'm like, as I send them the thank you postcard, I'm like, hey, don't lose these, keep these, because these might mean something in the future. I won't tell them what, but I'll tell them that as a thank you. It's like, hey, you donated $20, like, $15, $20, whatever. Like, here's a thank you, right? And then they keep the postcard. And then years later, 1 or 2 years later, when I'm like fully running, then I can say, hey, the code on the back of your postcard can actually be used as a coupon code to receive a free bar of chocolate. And then I would send them a free bar of chocolate from me to them because they helped out with the electrical transformer that needed to be installed so that we have enough juice for the facility. So it's like, hey, that was a $10,000 thing that I put in more than half of it, and I asked people if they wanted to help, and you decided to send $20 or whatever. And here's what I was thinking, right? Maybe even a subathon. So I've got I don't think I can even say it on TikTok Live, or else I'll get in trouble. But what I was thinking is something where I'm not ready to do all of it right now. Okay. Right now, I'm still at the research and development, learning how to make a good chocolate bar stage. But eventually, when I'm ready to do the full launch, I'll be able to kind of be prepared. So that's what I'm doing. I work my 9 to 5, I save my money, I build the brand, I interact live with people like you, which is a fun part of the brand building, because that is what I have in mind as Veci del Mundo, the virtual neighbor. Veci is not my real name, by the way. My real name is Andrew. I typically go by Drew. My TikTok handle name is still TrueDrew593. But I created this character, which is me, by the way. Like, this is how in real life, this is all me. But I just adopted the name Veci del Mundo because it was a perfect representation of what I wanted the chocolate factory to be. So Veci is short for vecino, and vecino is Spanish for neighbor. So Veci is neighbor, essentially, like virtual neighbor. Thank you so much, by the way, for the coins and all of that fun stuff. I love yapping about this stuff. So literally anybody who wants to like lend me an ear, I'll yap nonstop about it. So Veci is short for vecino. Vecino is Spanish for neighbor. So me as the virtual neighbor, I interact with people because they're human beings. Like in the world of AI and people buying things, I think it's really important that when people decide to buy stuff, they should know who profits from that economic trade. There's been many times where like I buy something from a company and then like later on it's revealed to me that like the CEO is actually like a horrible person. And it's like, damn, I really wish I didn't spend all that money on this. So what I'm kind of doing is I'm kind of doing brand building in reverse, where like I'm creating the personal brand, me, Veci del Mundo. And then eventually I'll get to the chocolate stuff. But first, I want people to know like what are things that I care about. Obviously, I've got, little upside down Bernie Sanders here. I'm a Bernie bro, basically. I'm a mini socialist, is the way that I describe it to people. And, I just think that everybody should have food, water, shelter, and healthcare in the wealthiest nation in the history of the universe. So that's kind of where I stand. And if people vibe with that attitude of me saying, FUCKICE, like that's who somebody would be buying chocolate from, instead of who actually grew up on a cacao farm, which is the other thing. Like so these are all the silly little things that I'm thinking about. I will be mailing out samples of the chocolate. So here's what I would recommend for you to do. I will be having a research and development taste testing team, which will consist of no more than 100 people per year. And I will be sending them different types of weird chocolate bars that I think might work, but I'm not ready for full like production yet. That the reason why I'm using this exact terminology is because legally it is a very dangerous line to play of sending consumer goods across state lines. Like that is a very serious issue, especially with me who talks shit about this administration. The people will find whatever reason to get people in trouble. So the language I'm using is very key. I use ChatGPT to make sure that it legally like is worded correctly. So I can send food across state lines without getting in trouble if it's for research and development purposes and there is no transaction of funds, period. Like I can't even tell people that it's for free if they sign up for like there's no none of that. Like it has to be specifically. So I'm going to have applications for people to apply to be part of my taste testing team so that I have a paper trail of history recorded of like, hey, no one's getting preferential treatment. It's just an application. We'll see who we decide. So if you want to be part of that, or if you want to be kept in the loop of the research and development taste testing team, I have a newsletter that I send out every month. It's called Cacao and Comments. I can't tell you to go to my bio and click the LIN, right? I don't even want to finish that because I'm nervous that TikTok will shut me down. But if you go there, you'll see it. It's called Cacao and Comments. It's on a Substack that I have. So that's where it is. Yep. I'll also send you the link also in afterwards. But it's cool because I put out on the Cacao and Comments newsletter, I put out a monthly update of where I am with the chocolate factory. And sometimes for people who do decide to be paid subscribers, it's free, by the way, like the monthly newsletter and stuff, like it's all free. But there are some people who do become paid subscribers, which has been like a fun realization that people want to sign up to support, but also like to be part of my quote unquote private journals. So I've been journaling for the past 3 years. I think it's important for people to journal, men to journal, but people to journal. And so I've been journaling for the past 3 years, and I've been sharing some of my journals to my private Substack. So that's been like a fun recent fear that I have overcome. Because the monthly newsletters, like I don't feel bad. I'm in sales. Like I type up sales marketing stuff constantly, not a big deal. But for the journaling, like I was like, okay, now I'm sharing my writing. I'm like, ooh, that's a little bit much. Like I built the courage to express myself in writing. Now I'm trying to express myself to the public in writing in written form. I don't know. So I figured if people are willing to pay $5 a month to be part of that, I was like, I might as well share some private journals with them. So that's been fun. It will take time and it will succeed. Thanks so much. I'm a big believer that if you set your goals to something that is achievable, well, here's what I mean. So if I'm responsible to my definition of success, I'm always going to win. So like my definition of success in this project is based on, can I make chocolate? Oh, snap, I made chocolate. It's a success. Can I go live? Oh, I went live. It's a success. Right? So I'm in tech sales. It's a very aggressive sales space. Numbers are the only thing that matter. Results are the only thing that matter. So I'm really good at tapping into that mindset. But I've learned and found that if I'm trying to grow something long term, Simon Sinek in his book The Infinite Game talks about setting a goal that is a constant life passion and constant life goal instead of a goal that is that like once you hit it, you hit it. So because if you have a goal that transcends an end result, you can continue being motivated by that goal. Is what I've learned. What's up, Viendrev? I totally messed up that name. My bad. My bad. Didn't mean it. Weekend has started. The weekend has started, people. Andrea, yeah, pues. My bad, my bad, my bad. Oh, I see. The V is an upside down A. Could have been Andrea. Yeah. Okay. That's clever. That's clever. I see it. I see what you did there. That's good. Matter of fact, that's great. I'm Andres, so I might take that. I'm not gonna lie. I will. I steal people's jokes. I'm not above that. I might take that. People will never know. I'll tell them I was first and you copied me. Anyways, how have you been? What's up? How was your week? We're here on Friday. Nice background. Thank you. It's new. I'm still working on it. Todavía me falta the other parts of it. So this is the background is just the beginning. It's much larger and I'm gonna post it at some point. But up here we've got the cacao. Over here we have the cardinal, which is the North Carolina state bird. Right here is a book called Born to Run. Oh, I didn't mean to make a heart, but okay, cool. That was cool. Anyways, this book here is called Born to Run. I think you're a runner. I think you're a runner. But this book is talks about the Tata Ahumada in Mexico. And it's the tribal northern Mexican group that like runs 20 miles a day with chanclas. Like culturally, historically, like they live in valleys. So like, so it's a really cool story. So if you're a runner, I also really liked it because it touches on uh like a Latin American like native group of runners, because typically running is, at least the way that I know it, associated more for like African runners in long distances. So I thought that was really cool how it was like more like Mexican and more focused on those indigenous native groups that were great runners. So I thought it was pretty cool. Then we also have obviously Mexico. I'm not Mexican, pero tengo familia que sí son, and I've been to Mexico City many times. Of course, here because I'm an obnoxious runner, right? Like every other runner, you gotta throw up the fact that you've done some races in the past. And that's the other thing. I can now freely talk about running because, like, if anybody has any doubts or questions about it, I can just like point to these things. Your parents are from Guatemala and El Salvador. Cool. Central American. Very fun. I bet El Salvador is a very different place today than what it was 20 years ago. Guatemala, I think Guatemala has the lake that I really want to go visit. I can't remember the name of it though. But Guatemala looks beautiful for sure. I think Guatemala is one of the most underrated North American countries, or yeah, North American countries out there for sure. Yeah, Atitlan, Atitlan. I'm probably butchering it. Yeah, Guatemala would be fun. And then of course I've got, upside down Bernie Sanders over here, Bernie bro. The book How to Win Friends and Influence People. Carolina Hurricanes, because I am a Carolina Hurricanes fan, um, for that. Also, Oswaldo Guayasamín. You only see the first name on here because it's cut off, but there's a lot more to it. He is a indigenous, probably the most famous artist in Ecuador. He is mixed from indigenous Quechua tribe and also mestizo, which is more of like Latin American Spanish. Um, so a lot of his art portrays the class inequality amongst Latin America. And a unique thing about his art is on his face, on the faces of the people that he draws, is a lot of pain to the faces, and he only uses two colors for their pigment to represent, the two sides of his upbringing, and also the life of how a lot of bastards live, being from two places. So it's very in your face art, but I created kind of like this, not a dream board, but just kind of like a representation board that has a bunch of things on there that I would like my brand Vesi del Mundo to be associated with. Of course, the Cardinal for North Carolina, right? I do love North Carolina. North Carolina is a really cool place. People here are strange, but North Carolina is still a very cool place. So I think that's really cool. NC's great. Are you an NC? NC's cool. My followers, people that on TikTok are typically from like all over the place because I travel so much. So literally, they're just like either in North Carolina, Chicago, VB, uh, Virginia Beach. I'm guessing. Go to Raleigh a lot for work. Raleigh's cool. That's where I spent a lot of time. Virginia Beach, you probably listen to Pharrell or the Neptunes even. Um, Raleigh's cool. Raleigh's cool. I do tech sales remotely, but I grew up basically in Raleigh. I come back to visit my parents who live here. So, what do you do for work? Actually, speaking of work, I met somebody the other day from playing tennis, and he's actually a sales rep for US Foods. And I geeked out on him. Like, it was embarrassing. Like, I was like, bro, I do tech sales in healthcare field. Like, and he was like, dude, I would love to learn about tech. I was like, dude, I would love to learn how you sell food. Like, I'm opening up a chocolate factory. Like, I totally geeked out on him, on Mans. And I was just like, bro, teach me how you do it, just so I have an idea. I think I know how I would do it, but would love to get together. And he was like, bro, for sure. So that's so it's always interesting. Like, I apologize for asking. I'm realizing I don't know people, but like, I think that when people share with one another stuff, like, people can totally help one another out in different things. So like, him and I are actually going to be linking up at some point to just talk, just chat, hang out kind of thing outside of tennis. Yep. I do healthcare tech sales. So I sell to hospitals. I sell to very important people. Actually, I would say they're probably important. Healthcare, hospital people. Clinical surgical tech. Okay, technologist. That's very interesting. We also, okay, yeah, there we go. How about that? Healthcare tech people. No wonder you run. that's the way we cope with all the nonsense and obnoxiousness of work. Um, yeah, I sell. Trying to figure out how much I do want to share. I typically stop at getting to healthcare tech sales. Like, I usually don't go past that when talking to people about it, because I am active enough on LinkedIn and stuff like that. And so I'm like, I will say it involves AI, like almost any technology in today's space. So it's really funny to, not funny, that's not the right word. It's really frustrating to see the political impacts of the one big ugly bill into the rural healthcare communities that I've previously prospected into and worked in, because we're on the same algorithm feed on LinkedIn, since I'm connected with a lot of these healthcare leaders. And oh my God, when I hear the exact numbers of, not even just like hospitals closing, but just like ED boarding capacity, I'm just like, we're cooked. We're so cooked. Like, every time Becker's newsletter comes out, I'm just like, oh no, this is not a good headline right now. It has not been a good headline on Becker's for a very long time. uh but oh well. Yeah, that's the way we cope. We run. It's the way we cope from nonsense. Also, my team fucking sucks. But hey, it's the weekend. We're not talking about that no more. What am I doing talking about work right now? I need to be talking about chocolate, cacao, or J. Cole. If it's not about those things, me vale verga. My bad, my bad, my bad. My bad, my bad. I didn't mean it. All right, I got 10 more minutes. I'm happy. I'm fired up. I've been going live more so I am on pace for it. I'm trying to keep it at like two, going live once or twice a week, and I've gone live like 4 times this week, so I'm really doing it. What am I drinking? Sweet tea, because that's what I'm killing myself with. Legit, only sweet tea. I did the red solo cup just for the conversation, for the clickbait. Not gonna lie, several people have asked, "What are you drinking?" I'm just drinking sweet tea. What I'm actually drinking is also water. By the way, when are you gonna? So you're running. Any races coming up? I can't remember. My bad. We got my primo DJ Valentino. What is up, DJ? March 22nd. Oh my goodness, yo. Shamrock Marathon. Let's go. Let's go. Is this your first marathon? You've done marathons before? What is up, DJ Valentino? My primo Valentino. What up? What's up, Alex Gomez? Here's the thing about my lives. I'm just every time you join, you're gonna get something new. So check this out, DJ Valentino. Look at this wallpaper. This is gonna be your first marathon. Girl, you better not have anything planned the next day. You better be chilling. You better take the day off. You better be doing nothing after that. If it's the first one, listen, you're getting into less than a month now, yo. What are you doing on live? You should be running right now. No, I'm just kidding. It took off. Good, smart. You have to take off. What's the longest distance that you've had so far? But by the way, everybody, look at this. Look at that new wallpaper. Kind of cool, huh? We got Cacao, Obvio. We also have the Cardinal up here. Andrea, yo, okay. Listen, I only did 18 before my marathon. It is not, you don't need to do a full marathon before your marathon. That's crazy stuff. I will say, run for time. Ignore distance and run for time. At least pick one day, probably this Sunday, where you are going to not be inside for 4 hours, 3 hours. Like, just commit that you're going to be running for 3 to 4 hours, or walking, or being outside. That's the thing. You're going to walk a lot. You're not going to run all of it, obviously. So but you got to commit the time, because your legs have never been 3.5 hours into a race before. So you want to at least have them in motion for that amount of time. So that's a big tip that I would give you. You haven't ran all week. Oh, pobrecita. I'll pray for you. You're a month away. Whoa. You're a girl. You got this, though. Your first one's always going to suck, but you're really allowing your training to, you're not, you know what? You got to lock in, yo. You got to lock in. It's these moments. It's these next few days. It's these next few weeks. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. Listen, I know you're going to be fine, but what I'm saying is you're going to hurt, which is okay. My first marathon, my attitude was, I can will my way. I can willpower my way through the 26.2. You'll be fine. I agree. There are so many people who do marathons who are a one and done. And I have come to realize it's because they were not training properly enough for that first one. So the pain following the first one was unbearable because their legs were never prepared for it, but they willpowered their way through it. And I hear you. I love it. I'm not saying you're wrong. You're right. I get it. Just get it done and bounce. That's cool too, because that's still, you're part of the top 1% of, or 1% of people who've completed a marathon. Okay, I know nothing of the strongmen competitions, but do you have a time that you plan on finishing the marathon in? Hey, you know what? You don't need this kind of negativity in your life. Fuck me. What am I saying? Get this man to shut up. You don't need this. You don't need to hear this right now. My bad. It's the weekend. What am I saying? I'm trying to switch gears. I apologize. My bad. We got to be positive. We got to be fired up. You know what? Pop off, queen. You'll be fine. You got this. I got something to tell you. When's my next race? I need to reschedule it. My next race was supposed to be May 2nd, but I will be just getting back from travel on that day. So and there's no way to adjust the trip, unfortunately. So I'll have to adjust that race. So right now I don't have a race in front of me. I'm just building my base so that I can quickly like finish a 13.1 over a random weekend. But I do plan on doing a full marathon like before the year ends. I haven't done a marathon since pre-pandemic. In fact, all of these came pre-pandemic. So since the pandemic, I have not been a beast in endurance athletics. I played more tennis and I was locked in on tennis. So it wasn't like I wasn't fit and working out, but all of my races were done pre-COVID. And I journal a lot about that because it's like, yo, I did a half Ironman and a marathon for 3 years straight. I was locked in with the training for those things. But can I be physically locked into those things again? I don't know. That's what I journaled about. Like Kobe says, can you be a different beast but the same animal? You know, whatever. So my next race, I don't have a race in front of me right now, but I'm looking for one. So one that's like somewhat quasi convenient for me during my travels because I'll be in New York City from June to July, and then I'll be in Europe for 2.5 months, and then I'll be in Mexico City for a month, and then I'll be probably in Ecuador for 2 months. So don't really have many races in those areas while I'm visiting. Oh, I also work remote and travel full time. I don't know if you knew that, but I live out of suitcases because my job is work from home with occasional conferences like once every couple months. I travel full time. Yeah, we'll see how long it lasts until AI takes all of our jobs. I do not make as much money as I could if I did accept some of those like in office like closing roles. I have taken the less income route for the work from home travel the world route. And I don't see myself ever being able to go physically in an office like multiple times a week. Like I can't see that anymore. I can't see that anymore. What is up, Broken Heart? Welcome. Oh my goodness. I do have to apologize. I do need to get more structured in my lives because I don't have a specific time of when I plan on going live. But look, I have a new wallpaper. Yeah, we got a little Bernie Sanders over here. We got a little Mexico City, Ángel de Independencia over here. We have the cardinal over here, the state bird, obviously cacao. A little bit of a lot of it, a little bit of a couple different things. So, but I got to tell you right now, Broken Heart, you joined when I'm leaving in 60 seconds. Andrea, this is also tips for you as a runner. We're in it for the where it's a long race, not a sprint. I want to go live for a much longer period of time because I technically have the time for it, but you got to stick to your schedule. Stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. And my plan is go live for 60 minutes a couple times a week. So I'm at 59.50 right now, and I'm proud of myself for going live. And I'm going to stick to the plan and not go longer because I got to do stuff outside of live, if that makes sense. But thank you all for joining. I really appreciate it. Christine, Andrea, you guys are both runners. Andrea has her first marathon coming up in a month, and Christine has, I can't remember if it's a half marathon or a marathon coming up, but Christine's a beast. Andrea's a beast. You guys are great. We're all runners here. Great job, runners. Make sure you get your miles in, and make sure it's on Strava, because if it's not on Strava, it didn't count. Also, if you don't follow on Strava, We always give kudos when we see it. Don't ever not give kudos. I give kudos. Got to give kudos. But anyways, have a great Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody. All right, that was cool.